What's good, Dazed? It's Honey Dijon here in Berlin in my wonderful library with all my babies behind me. These are all my books. I'm obsessed with books. And I hope everyone is sane and wonderful and healthy in this lockdown. I prefer to call it not self isolation, but self wellness, because we're going to change shit up, because we're not going to go down those negative thought patterns, are we? So at the moment, I'm working on my album, and which is coming out on Classic at the end of the year. And I wanted to share with you some of the music that inspired me for this album. I've been collecting 7 inches for about the last 3 or 4 years, and I've been planning to do a 7 inch set. So I'm giving you guys a little bit of a sneak preview of some of my record collection. So before that, we're gonna have a sip of wine just to get things loose a little bit up in here because I don't want to come across like a robot or a meme. Just a second. It's bio and vegan, so I don't want to hear any shit from anyone. So we're going to start off with one of my favorite producers ever, Mr. Gino Soccio. I remember as a kid growing up and listening to early house music tapes, and one of my favorite tracks was Remember, and it sort of led me down a rabbit hole to sort of get into all of his music. And I stumbled across this 7 inch, which is Dancer, which I play quite a lot in my sets. And on the other side is another great track of his called So Lonely. So if you don't know about Gino Soccio, that's what Spotify is for. So we're going to start off with Dancer by Gino Soccio on my little handy Vestex because you always need a little handy something. Okay. Moving right. Oh shit. Oh. Sorry. I have to be really gentle with the handy machine. So that was Dancer by Gino Soccio. And you can actually listen to the whole track on Spotify. Ta-da! Okay. For every song, we're going to do a sip. So if you have a glass of wine, get you a glass of wine and we can drink together and toast together. And at the end of it, be fucked up. Just like we do on a regular Saturday afternoon. Today's Saturday? I don't know when you're going to get this video, but it's wine o'clock every day. Like I said, it's bio and vegan. So the next track that I'm going to share with you guys is Suzi Lane, Harmony. I absolutely study the history of club music, and this was a big record at a club called The Saint back in the day. There were so many major clubs in New York in the late 70s and early 80s, and The Saint, along with the Paradise Garage and The Loft, they were just huge inspirations to me as an artist, and this was a big record at The Saint. And it's by Suzi Lane, and it's amazing because most of the time when I'm shopping for records, I always check out the 7 inch section, and I'm always blown away by how much music was released on 7 inches back in the 70s and 80s. So we're gonna take this one. That was Suzi Lane, Harmony. Lift your glass, time for toast, and record number 3. And we have a little Keith Haring here just for inspiration, so I think Keith would approve, so. Okay, this has got to be one of my favorite disco records in the world. when I was a kid, used to have school dances, and that's how I learned about DJ culture because we would have DJs come, and in the school cafeteria would turn into the school club, and so that's where I first got introduced to disco, and I will never forget hearing this record for the first time, and it literally gave me a spiritual experience, and it's First Choice Dr. Love. I'm gonna play a little bit of my favorite disco record in the whole wide world, Dr. Love, Rochelle Fleming on vocals. 1, 2, 3. Just the intro alone.
He's got the potion and the motion. When I'm feeling low, when my love starts to flow, he's got the power every hour. He's the reason why my face is all aglow. Just one kiss from his lips is like taking vitamin C. Oh, you can't imagine what my doctor does to me. Doctor does to me. Dr. Love. Dr. Love. He can cure my every pain. He can make me well again. Dr. Love. No competition, only he writes my prescription.
Okay. In 2 seconds, honey, I'm gonna be up here dancing on top of this table, so we're gonna take that off and move on to the next fantasy. Okay, you know what time it is, chickens. Time for another toast. Toast to self-wellness, but make sure the shit is vegan and bio. Okay. Now we're going to move into a little bit more pop and stuff like that. And there have been 2 artists in my life that have been hugely influential to me, not only as a human being, but as a musician, as how I look at the world and fashion and art. And I cannot stress the first time I saw Sade. A snatched back ponytail was her signatures and hoop earrings and a white shirt. It was like the most simple things, but the way she put them together, combined with her energy and her beauty, it was just mind-blowing. And I will never forget when this record came out. What I love about this record is that it was not only the music, but this was photographed by one of my favorite fashion photographers ever, Mr. Helmut Newton. So it's called Is It a Crime? And it is just, I mean, I can just get lost in this album cover, so. Okay. That was Sade, Is It a Crime? Photo by Helmut Newton, one of my favorite records in the world. And it just led me down a rabbit hole of jazz. I mean, I always loved jazz music, but the way she did it in pop culture was just really amazing. And there hasn't been an artist since that has combined soul and jazz and an English sensibility as Sade has. So that was Is It a Crime? These next artists are hugely influential to me. So I'm going to give you a little bit of house music history. So Before, I'm sure everyone's heard the lyrics, and Jack had a groove. Well, Jack was basically a dance that people do when you went out dancing to early house music because it was very tracky and people would just jack. And it was like you would dance with the speakers and you would jack the speakers. It was basically sex with a speaker. And so that's where Jack came from. And before it was called Jack and it was called punking out. And so a lot of early British synth pop and new wave and no wave and music from the sort of post-disco movement in New York was heavily influential in the beginning of early house music, along with acid house and tracks and things of that nature. And Human League was super, super influential in early house music. And Love Action was probably one of the first songs that I was introduced by them before Don't You Want Me, which became their big international hit. So yeah, this is the Human League, and it's such a great record. Hard Times and Love Action, and oh my God, I just love this song and the album cover and Red Lip, Red Lip. So, toast to the Human League. Wait a minute, we're gonna back this shit up and toast all of these artists since the beginning. Toast to Mr. Gino Soccio. Cheers to Miss Suzi Lane. Prost to Dr. Love. And santé to Sade. So we're gonna have a little toast to the Human League. Love Action. That thing needs to be a t-shirt. Love Action.
When you're in love, you know you're in love, no matter what you try to do. Might as well resign yourself to what you're going through. If you're a hard man or if you're a child, it still might get to you. Don't kid yourself, you've seen it all before. A million miles have said that too. I've been a husband and a lover
too. Okay, and okay. That was Love Action by the Human League. I'm gonna play a little bit of the other side because it's just as great as that track. Hard Times. Who doesn't like a little bit of a B-side? Their big hit was Don't You Want Me Baby, but like, I always like the underdogs of albums and tracks because that's where the meat and potatoes is. And we all love them. Well, we don't like meat and potatoes from a vegan point of view, but you get what I'm talking about. So great. Hard Times. Okay. Well, me being me, we couldn't have a little session, a music situation without some fashion involved. And bam, Jean-Paul Gaultier. Just a second. Keith and wine. We need a little bit of Keith and wine. I've always been an artist that believes art, music, and fashion are one and the same, and they're all part of the creative process. And Jean-Paul Gaultier was an early adopter of house music, and he actually made a house record, and it's called How to Do That. If you've never seen the video, it's by Jean-Baptiste Mondino. It's on YouTube. You can see the video. It's absolutely amazing of all his designs and his world. And my best friend Derrick Carter, we used to always geek out when he would play this at a party. And when I found this on a 7-inch, I absolutely had an orgasm and died right in the middle of the store. They had to call everyone to get me off the fucking floor because I was basically dead. So this is Jean-Paul Gaultier, How to Do That. And on the back, it says House Couture. And if you've ever seen Paris is Burning, when Willie Ninja is talking about his earring and he has the receipt and it's from Junior Gaultier, House Couture, it was from this moment. So you see everything in my life sort of intertwines: art, music, fashion, culture, subculture, voguing, dance. How it's just all part of who I am as an artist. So this is some of my biggest inspirations.
What good do you think you could get out of working with someone?
I think I should
how to do that, how to do that, how to do that in a new way. How to do that, how to do that, how to do that in a new way. How to do, 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 how to do.
Something marvelous will happen.
Major, 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 major. That was Jean-Paul Gaultier, How to Do That. And of course, so major. I want to end things on a tribute to my hometown, Chicago. I lived in New York for many years, and then I relocated to Berlin a couple of years ago. And but Chicago has always stuck with me, and through my sound and how I live my life and how I have relationships, because Chicago is a very working class place and they don't like bullshit. So you have to be really true to who you are, really authentic and really real, and you have to bring your A game, because during the whole house music, beginning of house music, there were so many DJs, and so you had to, in order to stand out, you had to have, dig deep and have your own personality and have something to say through the music. And so many great labels came from Chicago, like Guidance and Casual, Relief, Prescription, so much great music. And I think one of the most talented producers in the world is Green Velvet Cajmere. And this song, from the first moment I heard it on the dance floor to now, is just still, no matter where you are in the world, from festivals to small clubs, it just tears the roof off the place. And it's Brighter Days by Cajmere. I'm not going to play the original, but I'm going to play you the version that has been sampled to death. And even Kanye West even used it in his Sunday service. And it's still, to me, one of the best dance records ever made. So it's Brighter Days, Cajmere. Absolute fucking bomb. Just the best. So guys, I hope you got a little bit of an insight into my world as a DJ and as an artist, and sharing 7 of my favorite 7-inch singles. Again, we're gonna start Mr. Gino Soccio, Suzi Lane, First Choice, Sade, Human League, Jean-Paul Gaultier, and Cajmere featuring Dajae. This is Honey Dijon signing off. I hope everyone stays healthy, safe, and sane, and I can't wait to see you on the dance floor.